Hello and welcome to Friday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we are going to be having a go at a very special puzzle to celebrate the 40th birthday of one of the great setters in the world of Sudoku, and actually one of the great people. I've never met Marty Sears, but everything I've heard about Marty Sears makes me think that he is the sort of person I would like to meet at a party. And Marty, I know it's your 40th birthday because we have been inundated with people telling us and saying, please can we do a puzzle of yours today, to say thank you to you for these incredible puzzles that you've been making for all of us these last couple of years. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to be trying a puzzle called Zippery When Wet. Now, I will tell you, this has one of the longest rule sets we've ever featured, but it is meant to be sublimely brilliant. So we're going to make an exception. We normally do shy away from puzzles that have very lengthy rules. Most of the rules here are actually fairly normal. So if you're used to our variant Sudoku, I don't think there's going to be anything terribly surprising here. But it will take me a little while to work through them all. It's got something like a 99% approval rating on Logic Masters Germany. 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty. It involves a bit of yin-yang, and I suspect Marty constructed this simply from having the idea of the title, and you'll understand what I mean when we read the rules together in a moment or two's time. But actually, Marty, let me tell you some of the messages we got, just so that I don't forget to mention them. You got thanks and birthday wishes from Sarah, who I think constructs under the name Ratfinks. And Sarah really appreciates your encouragement, support and friendship. We also had messages from Professor Dorlier and the peddling pianist, encouraging us to do this very puzzle. And I even had a message from Ian, who I gather is your former flatmate in real life, or housemate I should say, who says you're as interesting and witty in life as you seem to be in your puzzles. Well, that is praise indeed. So, Marty, just a few mentions there. I hope I'm going to be able to do this puzzle, otherwise this is all going to be for naught. But anyway, that's what we're going to be having a look at. Couple of things to mention before we do Marty's puzzle. The first is that there's a crossword video on the channel. As usual on Fridays, we tackle the Times cryptic crossword as a sort of masterclass format where we talk through exactly how to solve these cryptic crossword clues. So it's a good puzzle today. Friday, we do Fridays because it's normally the most difficult puzzle of the week. So if you have any interest in learning how to do cryptic crosswords, I definitely recommend checking that out. And then the big news. This is the last day of May, and that means tomorrow is Patreon reward day. So if you're a patron of the channel, thank you so much for your support. On the first of every month we release a new Sudoku hunt, and what we've got for you at the start of June tomorrow is just so spectacularly good. This is Blobz Lord of the Rings Sudoku hunt, featuring the art of Ted Nasmith. I think I snipped yeah, here you go. Here's these are the names of some of the puzzles, which is if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, you will recognize, I've no doubt. And there's a couple of other things I want to mention here. Firstly, a message for Blobz. Blobz, I am going to be trying your puzzle, the Arkenstone, I think it's called, in tomorrow's video. I was going to try it today, but then when it was Marty's birthday, Marty's 40th birthday, we thought that had to take precedence. So I will try that tomorrow. Goodness only knows if I don't solve it. If tomorrow's video is not the Arkenstone, now that would be something of a disaster. But anyway, that is what I intend to do tomorrow. But also, Blobz has made a bonus puzzle that I think it's called A Long Expected Party. Obviously themed around Bilbo's was it Bilbo and Frodo's party at the start of the book? I can't remember if it was Frodo's as well, but anyway, there is a bonus puzzle which we'll link to under the video. So if you want to get yourself in Lord of the Rings mode, well, that's completely free, the bonus puzzle. Check that out and you'll get a feel for what we've got coming up tomorrow. And Blob's style of puzzle is incredibly approachable as well. So everyone should definitely have a go at these wonderful things. Now, there was something else I wanted to talk about as regards the Lord of the Rings. 4 p.m. UK time tomorrow is when the hunt will release, and you'll have until the 20th to enter the competition, which is loads and loads of time. So yeah, just do check it out. It is going to be it's going to be the Sudoku event of the summer. Now, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I was meant to say. I hope not. We've got a lot of rules to work through for Marty's puzzle. So I was just reading the comments actually on this puzzle on Logic Masters, and it's very rare, I think, that there must have been a puzzle ever that's garnered as many positive comments as this puzzle has. So it's clearly brilliant. Anyway, let's get to it. These are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. It's so colourful, it's crazy. Then we've got yin yang. Each cell is either land or water. All cells of the same type must be orthogonally connected, and no 2x2 area may be entirely land or entirely water. So the classic example I do of this pattern is this one. So if all of, I don't know how am I going to, any colour I use is not really going to show up very well. I'll try black and dark green, see if they have contrast. Is that visible? Hopefully it's visible. So the idea is that you can see all of the black cells are orthogonally connected. Orthogonally means shares an edge. So this cell, if we added that to the cornucopia of black cells, this is not orthogonally connected with the rest of the black area, because this cell only touches the other black cells at a point, these diagonal points. So that would not be correct. That could not be a correct yin-yang shading, but this could be a correct yin-yang shading. You see all the greens are orthogonally connected, all the black cells are orthogonally connected, and no 2x2 area in the grid contains all one colour. So that is the first rule we need to obey. And then we've got all of these different types of lines. So the Renban line is this one, pink. And digits on a pink line don't repeat and form a consecutive sequence, but these can be arranged in any order along the line. So if there was a 9 on this line, then this line would have to contain 9, 8 and 7 because the digits are consecutive, and we could put those in any order. That's how pink lines work. Nabna, yeah, the dreaded Nabna. Nabna is the yellow line. So there are 2 yellow lines. A digit on a yellow line cannot be consecutive with or the same as any other digit anywhere on the line. So if you put a 2 in this square, this line cannot have a 1 or a 3 anywhere on it. That's how Nabna lines work. German whispers are green. Adjacent digits on a green line must have a difference of at least 5. So that's normal German whispers rules. So if this square here was a 3, this would either have to be 8 or 9 in order to make sure it's at least 5 away from 3. Region sum lines, blue. Oh, there's 2 blues. Is that distinguished? Oh, turquoise. Turquoise will be the light colour. Right. So this one is region sum line. Digits along a blue line must have the same total within each 3x3 box. What does that mean? So that means that digit there has to be the sum of those 2 digits. So you add these up and you'll get that digit. Now, next we've got parity lines. The red lines are parity lines, and digits along a red line must alternate between odd and even. Okay, that's fairly clear, isn't it? Entropic, orange. We've got 2 orange. Have we got 2 of every type of line? Maybe, not sure. Any group of 3 adjacent cells on an orange line must contain a low digit, a 1, 2 or a 3, a medium digit, a 4, 5 or a 6, and a high digit, 7, 8 or a 9. So hopefully that's clear. Palindrome, grey line. So a grey line is a palindrome. A grey line must read the same in either direction. So if this was a 2, that would also be a 2. Same difference, turquoise. So I think turquoise must be the lighter bluey coloured one. And it says each pair of adjacent digits along a turquoise line must have the same difference. So if this square here was a 6 and this square here was a 4, this square here would be a 2. 6 and 4 differ by 2, and these two would have to do... Oh, hang on. I've just realised something about that. That could be a 6 again. Ah! These differ by 2. They don't have to be in the same direction, so you don't have to step down. So this could be 6 again, or it could be 2. Oh, goodness. All right. So there are traps as well. Now, now the rules get really interesting. Zippery when wet. Any line that is completely wet, remember we're shading the grid into the yin-yang shading, where we're making some cells wet and some cells land. Or some cells are water, some cells are land. Okay. And then it says, any line that is completely wet, so entirely covered with water, loses the property of its presenting colour and instead becomes a zipper line. And along a zipper line, each pair of digits that are the same distance from the line's central cell sum to the digit in that central cell. So let's look at this line here. That is the central cell of this line. And if this was a zipper line, the middle digit here, let's make it 6, has to be the sum of these two digits and the sum of those two digits. So these two could be, they can't be the same, but this could be 2, 4, they could be 3, 3. That would be a legitimate presentation of a zipper line. So that's if a line is completely wet. Any line that is completely dry, so only has land cells on it, behaves normally as described in the list above. It does not behave like a zipper line. And if a line is partly wet and partly dry, it retains its presenting property and is also a zipper line as well. So if this was partly wet and partly dry, it would be a zipper line, and a yellow line was a Nabna line. So it would be both of those things at the same time. Yes, if you're thinking that is absolutely mad, welcome to the mind of Marty Sears. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I'm looking forward to this. Now, is it the central box which is completely covered by lines? How are we going to do this? Do we start with yin yang? Oh, maybe actually. Okay, let me just start with that, because that's probably sensible. If we're solving a yin-yang puzzle, I will have to reveal some secrets of yin-yang. Now, I'm not going to reveal the secret that I discovered from the pedaling pianist's conversation with Mark the other day about the perimeter of a yin-yang. I'm not going to reveal that secret. We still haven't had any videos in about that secret, but I am going to reveal simpler secrets. So here is a simple secret to do with yin-yang shading. That is not a possible yin-yang shading. There cannot be a checkerboard anywhere in this grid. Because if there was, remember that the two colours have to form orthogonally connected areas. It's difficult, this. I was going to use this because it's the only 2x2 that's not covered by line. But I think to show you this, I'm going to have to go to the middle of the grid. So let's imagine we tried to connect, which we would have to do if there was a checkerboard pattern. We'd have to connect these two squares together, wouldn't we? Now, how could we do that? And the point is, it doesn't matter how you do that. Whatever route you take, however convoluted you try to make, that's beautiful. However convoluted you try to make that route, how would you then connect the two purple ones together orthogonally? You can't do it without now passing through the wall of black squares. And of course, if we went the other way round to connect the black squares, you just get a different pond. This one's now in a pond rather than this one, and it can't connect to this one without cutting the border. So, first rule, no checkerboards. Second rule of yin-yang, often the most important rule, is the perimeter. Now, the perimeter cannot change colour too often. What do I mean? Well, let's say that this stretch of digits were black and this stretch of digits were purple. That is possible. That is a possible shading because there are only two regions of colour in the perimeter. What would happen if we tried to introduce a new area of colour? And the answer is the puzzle breaks, and you can think of this as sort of an exploded checkerboard, because this cell has to connect to this somehow. Again, it doesn't matter how it does it, but however it does it, it's going to divide the purple cells that remain into two areas. This cannot now connect to this. So the perimeter of a yin-yang puzzle can change colour once into the other colour, but basically that's it. And then it will change back to itself, but there cannot be anything more complicated than that. Now, what you can have, we don't see this very often, is one colour in the perimeter. That's not ruled out. So we could be in that situation here. But they are the secrets of yin-yang. Now, various ones of these lines have their own individual secrets. You can't put 5s on German whispers, for example, because a digit like 5 can't have a partner that's 5 different from it, that's a Sudoku digit. Let me just think, are there any other zipper lines? Anything we can establish as a zipper line. The only real secret I know about zipper lines is that if there's a 9 on a zipper line, it must always be the central cell of the zipper line, for hopefully obvious reasons. Right, I can start this puzzle. Grey lines were palindromes, weren't they? A grey line, yeah, okay, that cannot be a palindrome line, because those two digits would be the same. So that's obvious, right? So this line, well, that means it has to, what does it have to be? It has to be a zipper line only. And if it's a zippery when wet, so this line is a wet line. Only. It's not a palindrome at all. So let's make it purple. Purple is going to be, I know I'm going to get grief for this, but I just feel there's too many blues in the grid. If I do blues, the blues are going to interrupt or overlap with the blues in the grid, and the whole thing's going to look too blue. So I'm going to use purple as my wet colour. There, I've said it. Right, and this being purple reveals the nature of this, because we cannot have a 2 by 2 of one colour. So this square is dry. I'll use black for that one. And this cell is on a yellow line, and yellow was yellow nabna. So that's saying this line, it could be a zipper, but it's definitely a nabna. So this line doesn't have it doesn't have repeated digits on it. It doesn't have consecutive digits on it anywhere. And this line, that line's a zipper. This is already feeling incredibly complicated, actually. It must be the perimeter. It's always the perimeter in yin-yang puzzles. So how do we... Is it this line? Orange is a... Oh, entropy line. Sorry if you can hear the window rattling, by the way. The weather is awful again. Entropy line. So what are we saying here? Obviously that can be an entropy line. Oh, see, we're asking, could it also be a zipper line? If it was a zipper line, that would be the biggest digit on it. Yeah, and if it's an entropic line as well, that would have to be from 7, 8 or 9. Because if it wasn't, 2 of these squares would be from 7, 8, 9, and in theory they would add to this digit. So if this is zippery, that is high. And then these would be of different entropies, because in every 3 cells you only get 2 of the same entropy, and they would have to add up to the high one, which they can do. I can see very simply 1, 6 and 7, for example, would work. 1, 6, 7. So this can be, I think, it can be both or either. So that line's totally hopeless. This line is Nabna. I think Nabna... Well, this is at least a length 5 Nabna, which is the most restricted Nabna, in the sense that if this line is only Nabna, then the only way you could take the set of Sudoku digits, numbers 1 to 9, and select 5 of them such that no 2 are consecutive, is if you take 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So this would be a very useful line to be, it would be, oh, that's weird. Right, it would be a very useful line to be Nabna. But obviously this line from its geometry could be zipper. But what it can't be, interestingly, is both. Because if it was both, obviously the 9 would be in the middle, because it's the highest digit and it would need to have the digits 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9 on it. But we'd be summing 2 odd digits then to get to an odd digit, and that doesn't work from a parity perspective. In order to add 2 numbers up to an odd number, you will need an odd and an even number. So this is not it's not both, it's one colour. But we don't know, so it's either black or purple, but I don't know which it is. But it's one. Oh, so that's not. Okay, hang on. I'll just make that. Oh no, that's such a bad choice. Let's make that. I don't know what to make it, so we're going to be able to see it. Let's make it green. Oh, that's beautiful. Right, I'm going to make that green. Okay, now green means either purple or black, but not both. Now what I can see there is that digit is the opposite of green, and therefore that digit we're going to have to find a colour that's going to work there. Should we? I don't know. I want something that's really contrasting with the green. Red-green colour blindness probably suggests I shouldn't use red and green. Or maybe, okay, no, let's change this. Let's make this, I don't know, let's make that purple and make this black. That feels reasonable, doesn't it? And then this will make green, and this will make, I don't know, something else, grey. No, not grey. Blue. Okay, so I'm just using these 2 colours because I think these at least have quite a good contrast with each other and the lines behind them. So what's this? This is a palindrome line, but that could be a palindrome line. Because those two, for this to be a palindrome, all that has to happen is those 2 digits are the same. But it could also be a zipper line, because that's totally easy. If this was, I don't know, 5, these could be 1 and 4. The wind's getting worse. There must be, to avoid a 2 by 2 of purple here, there must be a black digit in one of those. Now this is a whispers line. So what really are we asking? We're asking whether a whispers line, can that be the biggest digit on a whispers line? Because if that's the way it would be a zipper line, isn't it? Its middle digit would be its highest digit. And then those 3 would all be high. There couldn't be a 5 on it. Is that okay or not? No, that's not okay. Is that... No, it's not okay. It's actually very clearly not okay. Yeah, I can just do it using high digits. Right. So one point to note about a German whispers line is because adjacent digits have to differ by 5, they sort of oscillate in terms of their polarity, i.e. if this digit is higher than 5, this digit would have to be lower than 5. Because to be 5 different from a number that's higher than 5, you will find it will always be lower than 5 if you're only selecting Sudoku digits. And then this one would be higher than 5 again. Now, if we're trying to establish whether this could be a zipper... Well, hang on, I've got to be careful. I've got to be careful here because I'm confusing myself. This could clearly be a German whispers line on its own. It could clearly be a zipper line on its own. So the question we need to ask is, could it be both? And I think the answer I've got is no. And that's going to be important because now I can colour this line entirely black, because it can't be entirely purple, because that would create a 2 by 2. So this is a very useful deduction. So what's the point? Well, those three all have the same polarity. So these are either all high or all low. Now, if this is trying to be a zipper and a German whisper, then these digits would be high, wouldn't they? Because we couldn't have 2 high digits here adding to a low digit. So this would be a high zipper digit. Let's say it's 9. That's the most it could be. This isn't fog, so I can write 9 here without revealing anything. Well, these two would also be higher than 5. And 6 plus 7, which is the least they can be, is many more than 9. So the maths of this could not work. And this is huge. Because what this means is, this is incapable of being both. So I must colour it one colour, and I can't pick the colour purple, because this isn't a movie. And also, one of those must be black, so the whole line is black. And that's really good, because this line, oh, look how beautiful that sits as well against the colour. Don't make a 2 by 2, so that's purple. Don't make a 2 by 2, so that's purple. That's purple to avoid a checkerboard. That's purple to avoid a 2 by 2. That's purple to avoid a checkerboard. This is clearly where we were meant to look, I think, because this is too beautiful for it to be accidental. We've got a purple there. We've got a purple on a blue line. That's... Ooh, no. Right. Okay, a blue line is a region sum line. Now, very straightforwardly, it is not possible for this, well, it's not possible for this blue line anyway, a length 3 blue line, to be both zipper and region sum like this. Because a zipper property would mean that this square was the highest digit on it. But from a region sum perspective, that digit's going to be the highest digit because it is summing those 2 digits. So this is all one colour and is purple, and now that's purple to avoid a checkerboard. Now that is black to avoid a 2 by 2, and this black hasn't connected to any of its friends, so everything down there must be a black cell to connect this one to its friends here. And now I have a change of colour in the perimeter, which is very exciting. So if I can work out whatever this is, it's going to cause a great tsunami effect around the grid, in the sense that if this is purple, all of these turn purple. If this is black, all of these turn black. Because, of course, we can only have 2 stretches of colour in the perimeter. Oh, what's happened with this? So this is a Renban line. And this is 2 coloured. So this is... Yeah, does that mean that's a 3 then? I feel like that must be the case, because what we're saying is this is a consecutive series of digits in which the 2 lower digits have to add up to the larger digit, which is always going to be the middle digit on a zipper line. So I feel like that has to be 1, 2, and 3. Anything else, the numbers are going to go wrong, aren't they? Because if you try and take 2, 3, and 4, you're going to put 4 in the middle, and 2 plus 3 is too many. So you're always going to have a 1 involved in that. And once you've got a 1 involved in it, it's got to be 1, 2, 3, and you've got to put 1 and 2 there. And that's I was going to write 3. I've got a digit. I've got a digit in this puzzle. And the funny thing is that I'm not going to say that. I will give you a hint as to where my brain was going with that thought. Despite the sort of the reams of rules, and despite it being quite an intimidating set of rules, I suppose, actually this has all been very beautiful so far. It's not been that monstrously difficult. But do I? I don't know. Do I? All I know is that this is one or the other. This is one or the other. Oh, wait a moment. If this is... Well, no. I was going to say if this is a whisper line, for that to be low, it would have to be a 4, and that would be double 9. 4 is monogamous along Whisper's lines. It only has one Sudoku partner that's 5 away from it, and that is 9. Oh, wait a moment. Look, this line's got 2 colours, so this is a palindrome, so those 2 digits are the same. It is a real palindrome. I don't know which colour equates to palindromicity, but it doesn't matter, because both colours are on this line. So this digit is the same, and the digit A, I'm going to use A because I can't bear to use any more colours. A has to go down there on a line that is a, what was red, parity, I think. Yeah, parity line. Well, it might not be a parity line, of course. It could be Zippery when wet, in which case it's Zippery. This line has got... No, it doesn't work. Well, I was wondering if I could force it to have both colours on it, but no. I mean, it definitely has to have a pink digit or a purple digit in one of these two to stop a 2 by 2 here. But it doesn't necessarily have to have a black digit on it, I don't think. If all of those... Let me just look at that for a second. If all of those were purple... Ah! No, I'm wrong. I am absolutely wrong. Didn't see that, but now I have. Right, this is interesting. Because this cannot be only purple. Because if it is, what's this square? And we are zugzwanged now. Because this square, to avoid a 2 by 2, has to be a black digit. But that creates a checkerboard, which is another paradox. So we mustn't do this. So actually... Actually, there must be some black cells, or at least one black cell, on this strip, which means this operates both as a zipper, so this is the biggest digit on it, and as a region sum, is it? Yeah, region sum. So, okay. So... So I feel like that's telling me that that's got to be even. Is that wrong? The line overall has many properties, doesn't it? Because this digit we know is the biggest digit on this region sum line, and it is the sum of those two and those two, which means that this line's overall digitage, if we summed those digits, we would get a number divisible by 3, because if this is x and those two sum to x and those two sum to x, that's 3x. So this line overall sums to a number divisible by 3. However, it also sums to a number divisible by 2, because those two squares, by region sum logic, are the sum of those 3 squares. So this line overall, because it must contain digits that sum to a multiple of 2 and a multiple of 3, its digits overall sum to a multiple of 6. Now, they can't only add up to 6, because these on their own add up to 6, even if they're 1, 2 and 3, and then we'd have to add those two in. They might be able to add up to only 12. And if they add up to only 12, what are we saying then? Then we're saying that the line is 3x. So we're saying that this x would be 4. So why is that impossible? And the answer is, right, okay, the answer is that doesn't work. But that's a little bit more complicated. It doesn't work because these two squares would have to sum to 4, so they'd have to be a 1-3 pair. And now this digit can't be a 1 or a 3. Now that doesn't prevent that from being double 2, but it does mean that that sums to an odd number. And an odd number, I don't know, well, actually, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't work. But it's quite complicated. Those two squares don't add up to that side. That's the only way I'm seeing that's broken, actually. Because whether that's 3 or 5, this is bigger, and yet these are meant to add to the same as that. So that's quite complicated. That is quite complicated. But that is not a 4. So that was if the line added up overall to 12. So we now got to go to 18, which would make this a 6. Let's put 6 in and see how that would work. So if it's 6, well, the other thing, if it's 18, that's quite nice. Because each side of the region sum now has to sum to 9, this has to be 6, 1, 2. So that's going to be 6, 1, 2, and this is going to be a 4, 5 pair. Now, why is that broken, I hear you ask? And I don't have a good answer for that, I'm afraid. So that could be correct. Right, the other alternative is presumably going to make this 8. So the line overall now is adding up to 24, which means we've got 12 on both sides. So this adds up to 12, which means this is 8, 1, 3. Right, there is always a 1 in this domino. It's either a 1, 2 pair or a 1, 3 pair, depending on things. This is 6 or 8. Now, can we rule out 8 here? If this is, let me just put it back in again. If this is 8 and this is, so this is adding up to, let me just think about this. These are a 1, 3 pair, each time adding up to 8. So these are 5 and 7. Okay, so there is always a 5 here. This we don't know. And this, there's always a 1 in. So it's either 6 with a 1, 2 pair and a 4, 5 pair, or 8 with a 1, 3 pair and a 5, 7 pair. I mean, that's fascinating, but I'm trying to see what it actually does. Does it put some sort of weird pressure on this? What's this line? This is the same as that line, Renban. So if this, okay, so it means this isn't Renban and zipper. That's an interesting point. That must be what that line's for. If this was Renban and zipper, we've worked out it would have to be a 1, 2, 3 triple, and now it can't be because that would make these cells unfillable. So this is one colour, and it's either entirely pink or entirely black. Okay. Oh dear, I don't see what that's doing. What about this? This is a parity line. Parity lines can be zipper lines, can't they? Yeah, they can. I think they can. Oh, well, you know, yes. Yes, they can be, but you have to be careful with the middle digit. If this was a zipper line and a parity line, that middle digit would have to be even. Because if it was odd, these two squares would be even and necessarily sum to an odd number. That's very interesting. Good grief. So actually, but that doesn't really help us. It just means this can be both. What were the funny blue lines, the light blue lines? Same difference lines. Oh, golly. A same difference line. Can that be a zipper line? Yes, I'm going to say, because all we're saying there. Oh, well, actually, no, they could be. Yeah, that could be an 8, and these could both be 4. They would have the same difference, and they would 2 4s would sum to 8. So that's possible. That's possible. So if this line was region sum only, because we know it's one colour, so it's one thing. If it's region sum, those two squares can't be 1, 2, or 3. They'd have to be 4, 5, adding to 9. That would mean this doesn't have 9 on it, so it couldn't be. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Marty, you are very, very clever. Right, okay, this is it. I now believe purple is zipper, actually. I think purple is zipper. Right, let me try and explain. I know that if purple was saying, okay, these retain their properties. The point is this becomes 9, because this is a 4, 5 pair. And now this is unfillable, because this is meant to now have the property of a Nabner line, which means that there are no consecutive digits on it. And as there are 5 cells, they'd have to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And you can't put 9 anywhere on it. So it cannot be that. So that forces purple to be zipper. So purple is zipper. Black is it makes the lines work as they should from their colour. And if they're both colours, they do both things. So now this is a German whispers line. And if this is low, it's 4. And this is a zipper line. And this is a zipper line. Oh, but do I know what that is now? That's the point, isn't it? Oh, this is beautiful, because this is going to do the perimeter. Yeah, okay. So we worked out this one had to be a zipper, because it can't be a palindrome. Now, what was my zipper colour? Zipper was purple. So this is purple, this is black. And purple, look, how could there be a black cell in any of these squares? And this is the point we were talking about at the start regarding dividing the perimeter into too many sections. If any of these single cells is black, then when we connect that black cell to here, we're going to cut this purple from the bottom purple. So all of these are actually purple now. That becomes a black cell. This is both now. This one is, what's orange? Orange is entropic. So this is entropic and, right, okay, well, this is entropic and zipper. And that means that this digit, which is the biggest digit on the line, must be from the highest entropy set, which is 789. So this is 789. And these two sum to this, and those two sum to that as well. Oh dear, dear, dear. What on earth now then? Well, no, I suddenly thought that was a Ren band, and it can't be 1, 2, 3. It's not a Ren band, it's a parity. Ah, no. Okay. But green lines were one or other, weren't they? We did work that out, actually. So green lines... You see, if this green line here is... Or was that specific to that green line that it couldn't be? I don't remember, actually. I'm not totally sure. I don't want to second guess that. I'm going to think about it again. Can a green line generically be a zipper? And the answer is... I think the answer's no, but it's not actually that clear. Because, okay, I mean, if this is a zipper, this is the biggest digit on the line, which means this must be from the high polarity set. So this is from 6, 7, 8, or 9, which means these squares are from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, how do we get these digits to add up to such a big digit in the middle? We can't use 1 very clearly. Now, the problem we're going to have here is the gap, because we could have, for example, a 3-4 pair, which would add up to 7, which is a middle digit, but they're not far enough away from 7. 7 can only partner up with 1 and 2 on a green line, because it needs a digit that's 5 away, so we can't make 3 and 4 add to 7. Now, double 3 adding to 6 won't work either, because 6 is monogamous and can only partner 1. Right, so I don't think I had gone through that thinking. I think... Yeah, it's a different. This line's geometry is different. You've got to be careful with these green lines. But there are only 2, so now I've been careful, and that's fine. So this is either entirely black or entirely green. Now it's going to be much more powerful if this is entirely black, for the reason that now that's a black cell, that's a black cell on the perimeter. So we'd have to tie all those together, and that is going to not work. Right, that's important, look, because if we're in this world where we've got this going on, what's that square? To avoid a 2 by 2, it's purple, and now I've got a checkerboard, which I can't have. So in fact, this is purple. And that means what? It means that black is being corralled by a purple sort of partially formed pond here. This can't be all purple. And this one is a Renban line, which can't be the 1, 2, 3 thing. Yeah, that's lovely. That is lovely. Right, this line is entirely black, I'm going to claim. And that's because this is one colour. Now, the reason it's one colour is that if it was 2 colours, we'd need a consecutive sequence that also operated as a zipper, and we worked out that had to be 1, 2, 3, and this can't be 1, 2, 3. So this is all one colour. If this is all purple, these black cells here never orthogonally connect to these, so it's not that. So this is all black. Therefore, there's got to be some... Well, okay, this... Oh, did we know this already? Oh, I think we did know this already, looking at my pencil marks. Sorry. Yeah, okay. We already knew this was both, didn't we? Because I did all the region sum mathematics. But I was going to say that these 2 squares can't both be black. Oh, hang on, why is that? I think I put the wrong colour in there. These 2 squares can't both be black, or you'd have a 2 by 2 of black there. And they can't both be purple, because then this black area here can never connect to this black area. So this is one of each, making this line have both properties, but we already knew it had both properties, although I can't remember why. Now, so this has one property, and it's the property of its colour. So this is a renband that doesn't have a 1 on it. But it's only 3 cells long, which is totally useless. No, what I was about to say is nonsense. Oh, this is weird. Okay, I'm going to do something with this one then. That's got 2 colours on it. So this operates as... That's really interesting. Why have I not looked at this line before? But yeah, because this square has to be even. And it's not 2. It's 4, 6 or 8. The reason it has to be even is because this operates as a palindrome. And therefore these 2 digits, which I've already labelled as A, are the same. But because it has both colours on it, this also operates as a zipper, which means that this digit is the sum of 2 digits that are the same. So this must be even, because if these are x, this is 2x now. Now it can't be 2 here, because this would be double 1, and we know there's a 1 on this region sum line. Now if it's 4, this is double 2. If it's 6, it's double 3. And if it's 8, it's double 4. Right, it's not double 3 because I've already got a 3 there. So it's now not 6 here. Whoops. So now it's 4 or 8. Now if it's 8 here, this is double 4. I feel like that's putting a lot of pressure on that line now, which would have to be... It would have to be 5, 6, 7. No, that might still be okay. Golly, I mean that's really close to being broken. Because this is a consecutive sequence, if you can't have 4 or 8 on it, or 1, it has to be 5, 6, 7. And the other way round, if this is double 2, this is 4. Right, okay, there's never a 4 on this. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. So whether that's 4, there's only 2 possibilities on this line. But both of them involve a 4 in one of those 2 squares. Because if this is 2, that's 4. And if this is 4, then there's already 4. That's 8 then. But so there's definitely a 4 in one of those squares. And that means there's no 4 on the purple line. There's no 1 on the purple line. So there are 3 consecutive digits here selected from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There must be a 7 on there. Not there. No, that's not true. Because we don't know if there's a 5 pencil mark, but not a 7 pencil mark. So, but how does that affect? Okay. Yeah, that does affect it a bit. So this can't be 6, 7, 8. So this is either... Well, it's either 5, 6, 7, which we've already looked at, which was when this was 8 and this was 4. Or it's 7, 8, 9. It's 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9, 4, double 2. 7, 8, 9. This would be 6. I'm just wondering if there's something parity related going on here, because these are both even. There's definitely 1 even digit on this pink line. That's 3 even digits. There are 4 even digits in Sudoku. So if this was a 1-2 pair, these would both be odd. And that... Oh, well then we don't know, do we? Because we don't know whether this parity line is operating as a parity line or not. Ah, okay. Well, yes. Yes, I do know. I do know it's operating as a parity line, actually. Oh, no. No, this is lovely. Oh, it like leads you to these deductions. It's beautiful. So I was looking at this thinking, oh, it would be really nice to know something about this red line. But I actually do know things about the red line. I just hadn't thought about it. So look at the red line and imagine it is one colour. It doesn't matter which colour we pick, it's broken. If it's only one colour, let's make it black. And you may say, well, that's fine. All of the purple can still be orthogonally connected. Well, that's true in terms of the purple I've put in the grid, but do we agree there would have to be some purple down here? Hopefully we do, because otherwise there's a lot of 2x2s of black down here, and that cannot be right. So there would be a purple down there somewhere, and the purple couldn't connect to any of the rest of the purple, so this is not an entirely black line. But the same logic applies the other way around. If that's all purple, this black area here never orthogonally connects to this black area, so that's not right either. So this line is both. And if it's both, didn't we think before about this? This middle digit, yeah, this middle digit has to be even. Because if it's odd, we're summing two even numbers to get it. So is that going to make that even? Because that's going to fix that. I think this is even. So it's 2, 4, 6 or 8. It's not going to be 2, but let's put it in. 2, 4, 6 or 8. And that means these two are both 2, 4, 6 or 8. And now, actually, forget what's going on in this box. I've got 4 evens in column 4. So everything else in this column is odd. I'm not going to be ashamed, actually, to pencil mark this. Let's just, because everything is quite complicated. This line is operating as a zipper, so it doesn't have 9 in its edge. This can't have a 5 on it because it's German whispers. Going to have to be a bit careful. It could be if 9 is one of those two digits, it's very easy to put the low digit as 1 or 3. This digit is not a 1 because there's a 1 in one of those. It's not a 7 actually either, because there's a 7 in one of these. So this is only 3, 5 or 9. Yeah, it's not 3 for this. This is going to be more powerful than anything. Look at this box. This was the point we were heading towards before. Now 1, 2, 3, and there's a 4th even digit on the pink line or the purple line. So these can't be even at all. So they have to be a 1-3 pair. Now that meant something, didn't it? Because I think they were a 1-3 pair when this was an 8. Yeah, if this was 6, 6, 1, 1, 3 is not a number. 10 here, we can't make 10 there. So this is 8. These squares are now 12. They're adding to 12. They are 5, 7. This is not 7. This is not 3. This line now can't have 8 on it at all. So it is 5, 6, 7, which means that is 9. This isn't 9. These aren't 9. Look at this. This is so gorgeous now, because this can't be 7 and 3, because 7 and 3 are only 4 apart. So this is 1 and 7. Which means that's not 1 or 7. This is not 1 or 7. Don't forget, we've still got to make this line, the red line down here, operate as a thingy line, a zipper line. So we can't have 2 in the middle of it, because these two digits cannot add up to 2. We probably can't have 4. No, we can't have 4, because these would have to be double 2. That doesn't work. So this is 6 or 8. It's not, it's 6. That's 6. Okay, that's got to be huge, hasn't it? So if this is 3 or 5, this is 1 or 3. It gives me a 1-3 pair there. I'm sure that's resolved. What about this digit, though? Don't we know that now? Because A, which is 2 or 4, appears down here. That's definitely not A. 5, 6, 7. This line can't be a zipper because its middle digit can't add up to the 2 digits on its wings when one of those digits is a 9. So this is actually a turquoise line, which means it's entirely, I want to say entirely black, but that feels like I'm heading towards trouble. That has to be black now, otherwise we have a checkerboard. So that's purple to avoid a 2 by 2. That's... Oh, this is getting dodgy. I might have made a mistake here. This is black to avoid a 2 by 2. That's black to avoid a checkerboard. Both of those, so all 3 of those squares are purple to avoid 2 by 2s, which means I'm going to have to repeat that logic to avoid checkerboards. Ooh, I think I've isolated something here. I'm not sure. Maybe it's all right. That square there's a 6, not an F, a 6. It sees a 5-7 pair. So 6 is on the nabna. Oh, 6 is on the nabna, but the nabna, we don't care about the nabna. The nabna thing is not a nabna. That's why we don't care about it. It is a zipper, which actually means you can't put 6 up there, because if that was 6... Oh, actually, hang on. No, I was noticing I couldn't put 1 on it, but yeah, that is true. If this was 6, how would these 2 squares add up to 6? They couldn't be 2, 4 without breaking that, and they couldn't be 1, 5 without breaking that, and they obviously can't be double 3. So it doesn't work. Which means this digit is higher than 6, because it's the sum of a 6 and something along here, and it's not 7, so this is 8 or 9. Which is nearly potentially interesting, maybe. Oh dear. Well, that has still been exciting. We've got further. We've definitely got further than we were. What's this line? This line operates as a turquoise line, which is a same difference line. Ah. No. Well, I don't think that's very useful. I'm not sure. I mean, this could be a 9 still, couldn't it? Whatever we put in there, it could just bounce back up to 9 again. That would make this an 8. Which might be fine. Oh, I know. Ah, much more. This is good. This is good. Right, let's go back to the green line. You have to be quite able to go backwards and forwards between these lines. I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, that square can't be a 4 because that would cause double 9 there. But this is a real whisper, so that's a high digit. And if that's a high digit, I know the polarity of the line. I don't know what that high digit is. But I do know that that has to be a low digit then, and that has to be a high digit. That's depressing. If that's all we get from that, that's really, really surprising. Sorry, I'm sure this is somehow giving me more. Well, it's giving me that that's a high digit, so that's 6, 7, or 9 by Sudoku. It can't be 8. And that digit is 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's rotten. What's this line? This line. Oh, this line is a zipper line. Okay, that's a little bit restricted actually, because we're adding a number that's at least a 3 to a number here that's at least a 4, aren't we? Because 1, 2, 3 have gone. And this can't be a 7, so that's an 8 or a 9, I'm going to claim. If this was 8, this would be a 5. That would be a 3. If this was 9, in fact, maybe we should do this. If this is 8, then this is definitely 5. If this is 9, this is either 6 or 4 to add up to the 9. No, okay, that actually wasn't helpful at all. Sorry. keep thinking this is a Nabna line, and I keep thinking it's absolutely broken, but I've got to get out of that habit. It's definitely not a Nabna line. It's definitely not a Nabna line. I don't know where to look now. Any ideas? What do we think? This line is both... that's not 7 anymore. That's 8. Or I've got an 8-9 pair in this row. That must be important. Oh, sorry, I don't know how to do this. How do we do this? Is this obvious? It probably is. I mean, I could well be missing any number of things here. 3? Yeah, 3 is in one of those 2 squares in box thingy. Box 2 being the technical version of thingy. So 3 in one of those squares. Thing is, also, the quite interesting thing about this is that when you get, like in this position, I don't know whether I'm meant to be thinking about yin-yang again, or zippers, or lines that have their actual property. Oh yeah, look, that square has to be a black square, because otherwise that's a 2 by 2. So this is a turquoise line, which means it does operate as a same difference line, which is probably important. German whispers. This is a German whispers line, so but no, it's not. It's been changed by its zipper because it's zippery when wet. So that line is a thingy line, a zipper line. So its middle digit is its highest digit. 1 is nearly restricted, actually. There is a 1 down there somewhere, I'm now noticing. And the 1 can't go in the middle of a zipper, so that's a little bit interesting. Do we know something about this line, maybe? This line is a zipper line, actually, because it has got an element of purple upon it. Now, does that... No, it doesn't mean it can't be also a parity line if this digit was even. And for that digit to be even, well... Well, it could, if it was a pure... If it was a parity line and this was even, I don't think that's very easy to do, because this would either be a 4 and that would be a 1-3 pair and break this, or it would be an 8 and there would be no combination here that can work, because 5 and 7 don't exist. So this actually is just a pure purple line. That's got to be big, hasn't it? So that means these 2 squares are black to avoid 2 by 2s. Look, this has to get in there, so that's got to get into this little puddle of blackness down there, so that's got to be a black square. This has become... Oh, there are 3 turquoise lines. Is that the only one that says 3 of? I feel like that's right. I might be wrong. But all of the purple turquoise lines actually operate as turquoise lines, which is a bit surprising. Okay. So what can we do with this knowledge? I don't know. I've not got a clue where to look, which is the disturbing thing. this is entropic groupings, isn't it? So I mean, it doesn't feel to me like there's nearly enough restriction in this row for that to be in any way interesting. We might be about to get very badly stuck, I fear. And what was this one? This was funny. This is zipper, isn't it? But I think this might still be able to have quite low. Well, it can't be 4 here. But could it be 5? No, it can't be 5. Okay. All right, that middle digit there can't be 4 because this would be, those squares would be a 1-3 pair and break this. So, and it's not 5, 6 or 7. So this is 8 or 9, which might be quite good. Because if this was 8, how would we make that work? It can't make it work. Because these two can't be 2, 6 or 7, 1 or 5, 3. So that is a 9. And these two squares now are not 3, 6. These are 1, 8, aren't they? That's what they are. That's going to be it. Right, so this is 1, 8. This is 3. This is 1. Now they have to work on their zippers. So that's 5 and that's 7. So this isn't 7. This is now a 2 or a 4 by Sudoku. Oh no. Oh, there's a 1 here. How long have I had that for? That's making that a 3. Which means that's a 3. Which means that's a 3. Ah, that's done some things. What's that done up here? What was this line? This line is a zipper. So if this is 8, that needs to be 3. So this is 9. This is 4, apparently. So this is 8. This is big. This is big because that means these are both 4 because by the palindrome. That's a 2, so that's a 4. Oh, come on. This is now a 9. This is a 6. So this digit, I should be able to do this, shouldn't I? That's a 2. So that's a 7 by mathematics on this line. And the bottom 3 digits here are 5, 7 and 8. And we can presumably do something there. No, I don't believe it. No. Well, that can't be 5 because then this would have to step up to 9 again, and it doesn't. But if this is 7, that can be 5, and if this is 8, that can be 7. Oh, so there's definitely a 7 in those, so that's not 7 at the bottom of the grid. But what about these digits? That must be where we look now. 1, 2, and 9. And this thing is a zipper. Right, there's not a 1 in the middle of a zipper. If that's 2, that could be double 1. Which is classic Marty nonsense. If that can't put 9 on the edge of a zipper. If that's 9, then this is either 1, 8 or 2, 7. It's not 7 because there's a 7 up there already. So, hang on, let's go back. If this is 2, this is double 1. If this is 9, that can't be 2. So this is always 1, is what we've just discovered. But I still don't know what that is. It's either 1 or 8, depending on what this is. There's a 2 there, so that's become a 4. So that's not 4 or 3. That's not going to put the pressure on that we need. This square here isn't 9 or 8 actually. That is 6 or 7. But both of those would work with a low digit here, so that doesn't feel like it's under quite enough pressure. 4 is in one of those 2 squares by Sudoku. It might be Sudoku we have to do, which is a terrifying prospect. That's an 8 by the fact that this is a 9. So that's good. So that's 8, that's 1. So now, oh, I can tell you what we should do here. 1, 2, and 5 in the row. So at least I can get these narrowed down, because we need digits that add up to 8 with 1, 2, and 5. So that's 7, 6, and 3. No, you're kidding me. Well, that one can't be 7, I suppose, so that one can't be 1. That's really harsh. That's really harsh, isn't it? I don't think this one or this one are restricted at all. Oh, 8 here, that might be okay. Oh, okay, that did become double 1 with a 2, so that's a 9. That does take 1 out of here, which takes 7 out of here. So I get a 3, 6 pair in this column. No 3 in the corner for me. Could be a 3 in the other corner, though. Still, that could be a 3. Right. Now, where should I look next? I don't know. Can I not do... Oh, I've got 2, 5 here, so that's going to be a 1. That's going to be a 2. That at least does something. Top row needs 1, 4, 6, 8 in it. There's an 8 in one of these squares, definitely. Where's 5 in box 1? The answer is there. Sudoku, of all things. So these are a 6, 7, 8 triple. And the 8's in the top bit. No, that's 7 now by Sudoku. That doesn't put the pressure we need on this digit. But anyway, it's still worth having. So I get a 6, 8 pair in the top row. And these squares are a 1, 4 pair. And I know the order. Good. So that's 1. That's 4. These squares are 3, 6, and 9. And the 9 must go there on the turquoise line. So we're going to investigate this. Yeah, there can't be 3 here. Because then this turquoise line is real, so we have to bounce back up to 9 again, and we can't. So that must be 6. I don't yet know how it works. Well, it must go. Yes. Oh, is this okay? I can see it's got to go 9, 6, 3, and then that goes around the other way. It resolves that deadly pattern very prettily. I think it's all right, is it? Okay, and if that's 3, 6, that's 5, 2, so that gets resolved. I think it's all right. I'm not totally sure. Well, where's 7 in box 6? I don't know the answer, but I know it's in one of 2 places, and that seems to do the 7 and the 5 in box 5, which does a 5 there. So this is a 1, 2 pair. I know the order. That's finally resolved that. So that could have been a 6. But it wasn't, or I don't think it is. Now this is a 6, 8 pair. These 2 squares are 2, 4, and 7. So that's a 4 by Sudoku. We've had a flurry of doing Sudoku-y stuff, haven't we? And the yin-yang, I feel I've totally neglected it. But it must be... Okay, yes, that's a good point. Because this line, which goes 9, 6, 3, is definitely not a zipper. So it's entirely made up of black squares, which allows me to put purples in here. I got 2 by 2, or a checkerboard. That has to be black. I think it's okay. It's terrifying, but I think it's okay. Okay, good. That's both colours, so I can't resolve anything with this. This... okay, maybe I can do that then. If this was both, then this would be its highest digit, and that digit would be higher than that digit. So this would be a 7, 8, or a 9. It would have to be an 8. And then the differences don't work, do they? Because if this is an 8, that would have to be a 6. This would be a 2. So 6, 8, and 2 do not have the same difference. So this isn't only this is a one-coloured line which goes like that. Make sure we keep the perimeter going. Make sure we don't get a checkerboard. Make sure we don't get a checkerboard. Oh, that square's become purple. And therefore I've got to connect that round the corner. That's got to be a black square now to avoid a 2 by 2 here. So we've nearly, oh, there's a pool of purple there. That's got to get out. Have I connected? No. Okay, so it's just a domino here to sort out. But we're getting closer. We're getting closer. What about those digits then? They are 3 and 6. Yeah, 3 and 6. That's doable. So 6 goes here, 3 goes here. What's this line? This line is a entropy line. It's got a 4 on it. It's got a low digit on it. It does, I don't know whether it operates as a zipper, but it definitely operates as an entropy. So that cannot be another low digit. So that's doing the 7. That's a 7. That's a 2. Now in this court, 5, 7 and 9 into these squares. Let's pencil mark it. And these squares are 4, 8 and something. Which my scanning isn't telling me very badly. 2. 2, 4. So these are all even. Okay, so that's not 2. And that's not 4. And that's not 9 in the corner. And what's this one? This is this is a zipper, so that's not 9 or 7. That can't be 7 and add up to 7, so that's 5. We're adding up to 7. That's 2. This is 9 by Sudoku. This is not 5, so that's going to be helpful for this line, which must now go 9, 8, 7. Because it's operating as the same difference line. That's a 5, that's an 8, that's a 4. And now we can study these and work out what's going on. So, yellow lines, oh no, that's fine. That's a Nabner and it works. But it's not, okay, this line is not a zipper. So it's not allowed to have any purple on it, because that would make it an incorrect zipper. So that's a black square. Now we avoid a 2 by 2. And this one is entropy and it's both colours, and it works because it's got 7 there and 4 plus 3 is 7. So that's very, very lovely because that suggests it's right. Now, okay, so what have we got going on here? 2, 5, 7 into those squares, which we can write 7 in here. We can write 5 in here. We can write 2 in here. Let's do this first. Although, okay, now I'm going to tidy up pencil marks. Does that have to be 4? Yeah, that's Sudoku. And this is the same difference line. I can do this. 4, 5, that's got to be 6. So that's 6, that's 8, that's 8. I've not put 8 into that column. 1, 3, 6, 9. So this is a 1, 9 pair. 9, 1, 6. I'm going to do that last. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight. Losing its religion. What a puzzle that is. That is so spectacularly brilliant. It was... Oh, actually, let's see if it's right. Yes. Congratulations, you solved the puzzle. It's quite an old puzzle. 195 days old. It's just brilliant, isn't it? What a puzzle that is. I mean, yes, there are a lot of rules, but on occasion, I will make the argument. I will stand as a defendant in the court with Marty Sears defending this puzzle's right to be seen by, hopefully, gazillions of people. Because, yeah, it is a long rule set, but it absolutely justifies it. Because it's so... The way that the rules work is so gorgeous. I mean, how could the world not be a better place for this puzzle existing? It is fantastic. Marty, happy birthday. You made me very happy, which feels the wrong way round. But I hope you have a great day today with chocolate cake. And know that you have an awful lot of friends in the Sudoku community and more widely who all seem to think the world of you. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.